What's up everybody, D-Man back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another SHMA unboxing video. This one is for SHMA's 2021 Godzilla vs Kong Godzilla. Let's do it. Before we begin, I want to give a huge thank you to all my patrons on Patreon. If you guys want to support the Patreon, please consider it. Link in the description below. It goes a really long way towards supporting the channel, making sure that I can still do videos like this for you. Also, through that, you can get early access to content, access to the Discord community, and more, so go check that out. Also, I'm still gonna have to ask you to subscribe, because I know you haven't done it yet, so just do it, okay? Could you just do that one thing for me? Just this once? I don't want to use this thing, but you guys, you're making me, you're pushing me, okay? Alrighty, so here it is. Here he is, Godzilla 2021, Godzilla vs Kong Godzilla, aka the meanest Godzilla in cinema. Imagine rooting for a guy who blows up somebody else's house just cuz. What a bully. Alright, so here's the box, and first off, I just gotta say, I love the color palette here. You've got the blue for Godzilla, a little hint of orange here. It kind of spills onto the side for Kong. That's really cool. It's like a nice touch. It's something that they were really hyping up during the advertising, was this duality. I mean, you see it on the shirt too. Godzilla and Kong, this split color palette. It's really, really cool, and it's something that I hoped they would do, and I'm glad to see they did it. You also have it here on the logo, Godzilla and Kong in different colors. Super cool. There appears to be like some sort of weird skin texturing going on in the Godzilla and Kong. If I'm not mistaken, this is yet another variation of the iconic Godzilla vs Kong banner, because you can kind of see the silhouette of Godzilla and Kong going at it in this text. But there's a lot to love about this box, because I just think it's a really cool image of Godzilla. I think he looks super sweet. I love the Godzilla vs Kong logo. I like how it's kind of a blend between the other fonts. Again, it's kind of cool how you can see there's this silhouette of the banner in there. Also, it's interesting that they say Godzilla from Godzilla vs Kong 2021. Maybe it's just to distinguish that this is not the King of the Monsters Godzilla, because it's the same design. I also like all this copyright trademark info, specifically because they've got the new 2021 banner. I mean, it's not as cool as the 65 years one, but it's still pretty sweet. It's 2021, it's golden, that's really cool, and it's the King Kong vs Godzilla design, which is awesome. Top of the box is a little boring. It's just got the Godzilla description here, and then it's got a little look-in window. Again, I don't know why they put those on the top. It doesn't really make a ton of sense to me. On the side here, it's again kind of plain. It's just blue, and then you've got Godzilla's dorsal spine spill over from the front, which is, I guess, pretty cool. On the side here, it's really nice. I love this one. All the orange spilling into the blue. You got like hints of purple here, and then you've got this really cool image of Godzilla, which is pretty sweet. On the back, you've got these really cool images of Godzilla, again, just showing off the figure, and then you have this window looking in on him. I prefer, if they're gonna put a window, that they do it on the back, just because it's nicer to have the fronts clean. Then again, you just got the info here, Godzilla vs Kong, a whole bunch of copyright info, and then some stuff on the bottom. Hooray. Let's check him out. Oh, it's been a while since I've opened one that's so fresh that I just get whoosh, blasted with that smell. It's a smell that only SHMA seems to have. I've never had another figure smell. It's like this one's really like paint smelling. He like has a very strong paint smell. Is it weird that I sniff my figures? I mean, I know I've done it in other unboxing videos. Am I just a freak for doing that? I'm sorry, he has a strong scent. I wish it was Kong, so then I could play that clip where Eileen's like, he can smell you too, you know, but it's Godzilla. As far as accessories go, he comes with two closed-ish, I mean, they're not like fists, but they're more closed hands than the other hands that he's wearing. So here he's got his two, I guess they're gripping hands. This thing's fucking awesome. Whoa. Shout out to SH, because I don't think these are the same molds. I think they're different sculpts entirely. This is the 2019 Godzilla King of the Monsters one that I opened in the other video. This is the Godzilla vs Kong one. I don't think they're the same. I mean, the paint is certainly very different between the two. You could see just from here, obviously, I mean, one of them's got blue spines, but the paint is different, but the rest of the sculpt is too, and not just in some areas. It seems like in most areas, it's pretty different all throughout, actually. It's improved a lot. This is an incredible improvement over this, and I'll try and talk about why, but it's going to be a little difficult because it is so subtle. I'm really happy with this guy. I think he looks incredible. He's just got a super rich, detailed sculpt. It's just very well textured, and again, it's the same things that I said about the other one. You can see, like, I just love the way that the scales kind of blend into each other, because he does have like weird scaling patterns, and some of his hide looks different than other parts, and so it's not just one consistency throughout. They actually take the time to make them different. I love the neck here. I think it looks really cool. cool. The painting I think is really nice. It's very subtle, but you've got this like brown hints throughout. Godzilla in the new Godzilla vs. Kong, he's got much more brown and orange sprinkled throughout his body, and I really like that. It makes him much more textured and detailed, even in the movie. The bottom of the tail I think looks really great. There's lots of great detailing here. All throughout the back, I think it looks really, really incredible. In the dorsal spines, you can see that a lot of attention to detail was given to the patterning and texturing of them. They look really great. And then the face is just fantastic. So not only does he have this super cool roaring head pose with this tongue, that's so good, but I love the blue in the mouth, the blue eyes, but it's a new face from the other one. He's got like a much more scrunched in, smaller head, and the eyes are a little smaller, and the face is a little tighter and meaner, and it's just really great. There's a lot of little things going on here that are very different than here. I mean, seeing them side to side, you can kind of see the big differences. I mean, this guy's got a bigger head, and they're different eyes, and they're just handled very differently. Throughout the body, there are some pretty subtle detailing as well. They fixed up the bottom part of his body around his like crotch area, so now his legs move a little better. They've also have a much more detailed and intricate paint job going on there. There is some loss of detailing and texturing. The skin on the 2019 one around the thighs looks a little better and more realistic, as well as the knees look a little better than on the new one. But overall, they fixed up the sculpt quite a bit. He actually has much more range of articulation than the 2019 one, and I really like it. If you remember, my saying about the 2019 one was that the sculpt looked really incredible, but that it was limited because of how good it was by articulation. Well, this one sacrificed some of those very minor subtle details to give him an actual articulated range of motion. Like, he may have the same kind of joints as the other one, but he can actually move a lot better, and he's just much nicer to work with. Up here in the torso especially, you can actually like turn him and pose him how you want, and he's not just confined to the way that the 2019 one was. There's a little bit more of a range of motion up here in the neck and head as well. He can't quite look as straight up as the 2019 one, but he can do a pretty good job like that. If you want to get Godzilla in like a swimming pose, I guess you could theoretically kind of manipulate him into that pose. There's kind of this kink in the tail, but if you want to work with it enough, I'm sure you could sort it out to get him into his swimming pose coming right at you. I'm very impressed with this guy. I think he's awesome. There's not anything I can complain about. I think the sculpt is really, really great. The face in particular, I think is wonderful. As for the actual paint job, I mean, I know I mentioned it's just like mostly charcoal gray, kind of the way that he's supposed to look. He does have these hints of brown throughout the chest and throughout the neck and the body, and so it does have that extra detailing and it's very nice. The big difference here with the other one is that this one's got the blue glowing spines, so all throughout his tail and up through his back you have the blue glowing dorsal spines, as well as in his eyes and mouth. Now the mouth and eyes look very incredible. I love those, and so does the whole thing overall. I'm just gonna say, like, just for the sake of saying it, it's not quite movie accurate in terms of, in the movie, only particular parts of his dorsal spines glow. If you pay attention, it like works its way on the core of the dorsal spines, not the outside of them. It's not like the old Toho Godzilla. This is a little more like what Toho's Godzilla would do, where his spines themselves glow rather than the energy within. That's fine, because this pops much better. It looks great. I really, really love this. You can still see the detailing in these spines with the paint job. It's very glossy and shiny, so it looks really nice. It's a very bright blue, so it pops. I think it's actually really wonderful, and I would have been more upset had they gone the more movie accurate route with it, just because it wouldn't have looked as good. It wouldn't have popped as much. The hand poses are really awesome. I really like these open paws. I don't think I'm gonna switch them to the closed ones. I mean, it's a very easy switch. You just pop them on and off. They're ball joints, so they're super easy. But I really like the ones that we have now. Again, you do have just this way better range of articulation. You can just do much more with him, and it's just nice to be able to do that. I count about 48 joints of articulation. I think that's roughly the same as the other one had. So he's got the same theoretical articulation capabilities. It's just that they made very subtle changes to the sculpt to actually be able to pull it off better. I think he's a little slimmer than the 2019 one, which again gives him the advantage because now he can do a little more. The 2019 one's just much more chunky and thick, and so he can't move as much. I love having both of them though, because as I've stated in videos before, I like having a clean Godzilla, one without the dorsal spines, and then one with the glowing dorsal spines. I like having them both. So I'm glad that I own both. There's so many little detailings that I'm noticing, like in the legs in particular look very different between the two, and I'm very happy about that. I like that they didn't just reuse the 2019 sculpt and go, oh, we made one that works, let's just repaint it, reskin it, and put it back. They actually made a new one. This one's based on the 2021 models, I guess 2020 models, but it was released in 2021. And there are some even very small detailing in the dorsal spines that you can notice where they're slightly different, especially near the top. This spine looks different between the two. It's a different spine. I mean, it's a bit longer on this guy. And then the main spine here is also just slightly different between the two. So there are some subtle detailing changes, as well as things like this guy's got bigger hands and a smaller head, interestingly enough. So there are some very subtle differences between the designs, and it's not something that's really highlighted in the movie, and they didn't really try to redo redesigned Godzilla in the movie, just some very subtle differences. But I think they really work. I think this guy's really awesome. Overall, the 2019 one probably has a much deeper sculpt than the 2021 one. However, the 2021 one has more articulation and a much more flashy paint job, so I kind of prefer the 2021 one by a lot. I think this one's a lot better. Comparing him to the only other Godzilla 2021 that's really out there in the same scale, actually, the Playmates one doesn't look as horrible next to it as I thought it would. It does. It just highlights how Playmates just kind of looks like an unrendered version of a better figure, and you can see that here. Kind of a similar idea with the blue spines as well, except these ones are translucent. And they stand next to each other, actually kind of nice. They're like kind of scaled up together pretty well. Now, unfortunately, there's no atomic breath that comes with the Godzilla vs. Kong one, even though that's the movie where Godzilla uses his atomic breath the most. However, I do still have the 2019 atomic breath that I could just place with him. I won't do it. I'll place it with the 2019 one, but I'm just saying you could. See, it looks fine. You got to find a way to display it like that, but if you have it, you can do it. Yeah, it is a little disappointing that he doesn't have an atomic breath, just because in the movie he does use his atomic breath more than he ever does in any of the other MonsterVerse films, but ultimately it's not that big of a deal because it is a new sculpt. It's not that expensive either. He was only like $70, I want to say. He wasn't terribly expensive. You have a much better range of articulation than you had on the 2019 one, and overall I think it's just an improvement over that 2019 one. I'd give this guy a 10 out of 10. I don't know of a better way to do a Godzilla 2021 than the one they have here. I think this is perfect for Godzilla vs. Kong's Godzilla. He looks just like he does in the movie, and it feels great. So I like this one quite a bit. Alright, that'll do it for this one, guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys next time for the next one. Again, please remember to go check out the Patreon link down below. D-Man, out.